partners. Hiyo mambo ndio si Gideon Moi ataamua. Ndio nyinyi mwananchi utaeleza sisi, hii ndio njia sisi tunajua na tunapenda, through your delegate. Sasa tuseme Kano atitafunga mlango la, lakini iko chama zingine ambao ni wakora tupu, hawa tutaweka kando.
He says the party plans to make a big comeback in the forthcoming general election.
Tunataka ile chama wa rafiki ambao ni wazalendo na ni wale ambao mahitaji zao ndio kuchunga mwananchi.
The party will soon hold its 50th anniversary celebrations, which will see leaders from the East African region, including Uganda's Yoweri Museveni, Tanzania's Jakaya Kikwete, and Southern Sudan's Salva Kiir, among others, grace the occasion.
But KANU will have no automatic free ticket for anybody. Lazima upiganie. Hakuna mtu kusemekana huyo ni huyo. Lazima ujitetee. Kutoka kwa mimi, chairman wetu, mpaka kwa Kimkun, lazima ajitetee kwa wananchi wenyewe. Ama namna gani? Mnakubali namna hiyo? Ili demokrasia na ukweli iregee nyumbani.
They were speaking at a campaign rally at Cheptais in Mount Elgon.
Let's stay with politics. The North Rift Foraila lobby group members are urging Albert North Member of Parliament William Ruto to return to ODM, insisting that he and the other rebels who left the ODM party should come back and work on a plan. They urged embattled politicians, Roads Minister Franklin Batt and ODM chairperson Henry Koskei, to face off democratically for the party's presidential running mate position. During the launch of the North Rift Foraila lobby at the 64 Stadium in Eldoret, President Mwai Kibaki was called upon not to endorse any of the presidential candidates to allow for fair competition during the election. The movement's activist Jackson Kibor called on Kenyans to maintain peace before, during and after the elections. Kibor dismissed the Ruto's United Republican Party, saying that the party was a splinter group of ODM that's doomed to fail. The new lobby group intends to conduct campaigns through rallies and house-to-house visits to ensure they reach voters at the grassroots level.
Wacha nikwambie Bwana Miguna, hata ukitumia wino ya damu, hata ukitumia wino blue ama grey, sisi tumesema kwamba rais wetu ni Dr. Amolo Raila Odinga. Waswahili wanasema ukiona moshi iko nini? Sasa mimi nafikiria wakati cheki iliandikwa ya kugonga Raila, mwingine akaenda na ile munono. Sasa mwingine anakuja anatoboa siri. Ruto is an innocent man as far as KICC is concerned. But we want to tell him, come back home. Kuja nyumbani hapa ODM. Alafu baada ya Raila, basi kama tunakupea hakuna maneno. Si ni kweli? Nataka kuwaulizeni, kwa wao wanaosema wanataka urais, hakuna mmoja hata mmoja amewahi kupigania uhuru wa nchi. Hakuna mmoja ambaye amepigania uhuru wa Mkenya wa pili isipokuwa nani? Isipokuwa nani? Raila.
Let's go to Nyanza province, and the Gusii Institute of Technology has been closed indefinitely following student protest over alleged mismanagement of school funds. The protest was triggered by the delivery of a new 52-seater bus ordered by the institution. Students protested, saying they'd made their contributions towards the purchase of a 62-seater bus. The institution's management claimed the bus was procured after a sitting with the board, where it was agreed that the Institute of Technology would settle for the 52-seater bus following financial constraints. A board member explained that the contribution of all 1,600 students in the last 2 terms could not meet the high cost of a bigger bus. They also cited poor sanitation facilities as another grievance that was affecting them.
In terms of what they need.
Several residents of Nyandarua have raised the alarm over an impending demolition of colonial houses in the county. The residents say unknown people have issued tenders for the demolition and auctioning of materials from the aged houses, which the complainants view as their heritage. They fear this move will open up the land for grabbing and subdivision ahead of the election of the county government. The lamenting group has moved to court to block the process. Well, last night, KTN Prime brought you the story of a gang of 15 caught on tape during a daring attack, terrorizing, robbing and beating worshippers with wanton abandon at a Nairobi church. The gang went about their business with shocking confidence and precision. The victims too scared to scream, run or fight back. They were too traumatized to go on camera and speak about the robbery. Due to public demand, here's a repeat of that particular story that shocked the nation.
Lighthouse Church in the city's industrial area. The church has opened its doors to Sunday worshippers for the morning church service. A commotion outside the church sees hundreds of churchgoers run for dear life. A leader of a gang of 15 men has brandished a pistol. Those who can dash before the gang catches up with them manage to do so. Others run to the safest place, perhaps the church, but they are wrong. This man whom KTN has learnt is the leader of the gang leads the other gangsters into a robbing spree. Everyone and anything that is worth stealing is stolen here. The gang assumes control of the main gate into the church compound. Unsuspecting worshippers are forced to lie down, stripped of their personal belongings. The robbery drama has just begun. One after the other, worshippers just arriving in time for the morning church service are forced to the ground, beaten and robbed. Watch for instance this man. When he arrives at the main entrance of the church, he is pulled by a 3-member gang. The limping gangster, as nicknamed by the police, rushes to his side. The terrified man has no choice but to cooperate. It appears the gang had carried out a background of the church premises before staging the daring robbery that lasted almost an hour. Somehow, each gangster showed up with a plastic bag for this important mission. Stuffing all they can into the plastic bags is what they do. What they can quickly hide in their pockets, they do. Watch closely. One of the gangsters wears the wristwatch of a man they have just robbed. 15 men, one armed with a pistol, a handful terrified churchgoers. The robbery, it appears, has just begun. The robbers emerge again and play into the church cameras. It seems the robbery is over, but as the gang prepares to leave the church premises, weighed down by the day's loot, a clan drives in. The church robbery drama kicks off once again. The driver of this white car attempts to resist. He is pulled out and robbed, but the car's engine is still running. One of the gangsters runs after it. The car nearly outruns him. When he finally manages to stop it, picking anything and everything from the stationary car is what he does. For almost an hour, the gang terrorizes church faithful at the Lighthouse Church in industrial area. As the daylight robbery goes on, the ringleader, the limping gangster, announces it is time to leave. The gang of 15 people leave the church, but they don't just leave. They walk out with the day's collection, bag after bag of loot containing personal belongings of those who are turned up for the Sunday service. Shocked, Injured and still terrified, one after the other, the church members start streaming out of the church premises. It is now emerging that police have since gunned down the limping gangster captured on the CCTV cameras installed in the church premises. The gangster was killed in what police say was a shootout. One other robber was arrested and has since been arraigned in court. 13 other gangsters are still out there, somewhere waiting to strike again. Somewhere you and I believe is perfectly safe. Just like this house of God was before, the gangster came swooping in.
Well, remember, if you want to watch that story, you can head off to standardmedia.co.ke, where you can find it on the KTN Kenya page, or on YouTube, where you can simply search for Standard Group Kenya, and on that page you can search for Church Raid. Spread the word for those people who probably have not had the chance to watch that. Let's go back to your top story. And 2 college students died when the bus they were traveling in veered off the road in Bonje. That's along the Nairobi-Mombasa highway. The 2 were traveling in a party of 55 in a bus headed to Mombasa when the accident occurred. 30 others sustained injuries and have been rushed to the hospital. Let's take a look at those pictures.
The bus carrying 55 second-year students of Bura Teachers Training College was headed to Mombasa when the accident occurred. Eyewitnesses said they saw it veer off the road at Bonje area. It was not immediately clear what caused the accident. 2 students were confirmed dead. 30 others sustained injuries and were rushed to the Coast Provincial General Hospital for medical attention. The accident occurred at the same spot where just 1 week ago 14 people died following an accident involving 3 vehicles. A trailer veered off its lane and rammed into a matatu and a saloon car on the opposite lane, causing the accident. Scrap metal dealers are reported to have stolen the guardrails from this spot, exposing motorists and pedestrians to danger. Coast Provincial Traffic Commandant Joshua Omukata urged motorists to be cautious when driving along the highway. Reporting for KTN Live at 1, I'm Wilkis Tengabwa.
Well, let's go back to Nyanza, where one of Kenya's least utilized transport resources happens to lie on the shores of Lake Victoria in Kisumu City. Built about 110 years ago, when the colonial government finished constructing the rail network, Kisumu Port has over the years served as the perfect link for importers and exporters alike in the East African region. Fred Muller brings you the story of a transport hub that could just prove useful as the region integrates into a federation.
The colonialists built this picturesque port to facilitate the extraction of raw materials from Uganda and later northern Tanzania. As a result, they created a seamless rail system linking various towns around the lake, with the wagon ferry serving as the vessel.
A wagon ferry basically is a ferry which ferries wagons. The wagons are shunted into the ferry, and we have a similar facility in Jinja, Port Bell, Mwanza, Bukoba and Kimondo Bay, where the wagon ferry just links and the wagons are shutted out and the train continues.
The port's only wagon ferry lies unused at the workshop after concessionaire Rift Valley Railways suspended its operation last December. In addition to this, there is a general berth that serves ships plying the lake route with loose cargo. The facility also has a 100,000-ton capacity warehouse that acts as a store for goods, most of which are bought by Tanzanian entities seeking imports from the Rift Valley, Nyanza and Western provinces.
We have the customs here, we have the police, all the necessary agents required to clear transit cargo. We have cabs here. Yeah? Instead of clients queuing for a number of days at Malaba border, they can take advantage of this port, which basically lies underutilized.
Despite providing a cheaper, faster and safer alternative to road transport, the port currently handles only 15 ships per month, yet it can serve 120 in the same period.
We export a lot to Uganda, but what passes through this port is nearly negligible. So you realize that it's not even the locals, but even in Kenya as a whole, we are not really taking advantage.
One of the biggest challenges is the ever-pervasive hyacinth waterweed that can at times block the Gulf. Silting is also taking its toll on the lake bed, making it difficult for large ships to dock at the port.
A ship coming here would require like 5 hours to get to the port from the beginning of the water hyacinth to the boat, a distance which covers in less than an hour.
Educational institutions in the region bring students here for sightseeing trips, with ordinary folk also dropping in once in a while. Despite the growing volumes of exports into the East African region, activities at this port still remain sluggish, begging the question, was the concession to RVR really worth it? From Kisumu County, I am Fred Omulo.
Well, thank you very much, Fred Omulo, for keeping us up to speed with what's happening in Kisumu. We're taking a short break. We're back with more news after this commercial break.
Does your husband shed with some whitening? Just